Breaking news.
Drama! Yes, drama when it comes to Manchester United.
It's all kicking off.
Man United won't break the bank for him. And if Man United won't break the bank for him, they've got other targets.
Yes, we are live. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. I'm back. I'm live. That can only mean one thing. Press the button, Owen, once again.
Breaking news.
Yes, I am live. I am back. That can only mean one thing. It is all going off today for Manchester United because in the last couple of minutes, we have confirmation. It was good. If I keep looking over my shoulders because I'm checking out what's going on the social media feed, it's literally all kicking off because Manchester United have got a here we go. We have agreed a deal. We are going to be signing a goalkeeper, and his name is not going to be Martinez. His name is going to be Lammens because we've got a Lammens to Manchester United. Where's the button?
Here we go!
We have a here we go. David Ornstein with the first to break the news in the last couple of minutes. I will tell you exactly what David Ornstein said when David Ornstein broke this news. He said that, here we go, I can scroll down. Social media feed is popping off right now. He said, an exclusive, Manchester United reached total agreement with Royal Antwerp to sign Lammens. The deal for the 23-year-old Royal Antwerp goalkeeper is worth 21 million euro plus add-ons, no salon clause. It's a 5-year contract. The Belgium international is flying into Manchester to complete this move. So 21 million euros is about what, 18-ish million pounds, something like that. So it's not a very high fee whatsoever, actually. I mean, let's do euros to pounds very quickly. 21 million euros. 1, 2, 3. It's about 18 million quid. 18 million quid for a 23-year-old goalkeeper. That's not bad. It's not bad going, is it? And in terms of more information on this, I can actually read the article written by David Ornstein and Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic. They write, Manchester United have agreed a deal to sign Royal Antwerp goalkeeper Lammens. A fee of 21 million euro, which, as I mentioned, is 18.2 million pounds plus add-ons, has been agreed between the two clubs with no salon clause included. Now, that's pretty critical, actually, folks. And be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Again, this is breaking news. We told you we'd be here all day. I told you I'd be stuck to my desk, glued to my desk, handcuffed to my desk, and bringing you the breaking news as it happens, when it happens. And there had been rumours, hadn't there, that Royal Antwerp wanted 25 million. They wanted 25 million euros or 25 million pounds, something like that. And Manchester United have got less than that. They've got actually quite a lot less than that. We don't know how much the add-ons are going to come to in terms of a total package. But what we do know, as I mentioned, that a deal has been agreed. Personal terms were not an issue. They had been agreed upon quite some time ago. It was just the fee between the two clubs. And I spoke earlier on about how it didn't make a lot of sense to me, the Martinez situation, which is now off, by the way. Martinez to Manchester United, not happening, according to Simon Stone and others. Martinez United is not going forward because we were only going to sign one goalkeeper and we're going to be signing Lammens from Royal Antwerp. He's 23 years old. Certainly, if he's good, you could have your next goalkeeper for the next 15 years. A modest fee of 18.2 million pounds. And he's now travelling to Manchester. Personal terms on a 5-year contract are in place. All parties are working towards completing this deal before the deadline, which, of course, is 7 p.m. in the UK this evening. Now, they write in this article, the goalkeeping position had been on the agenda for Manchester United. Previously, it was suggested that it was only going to be on the agenda if Onana had been sold. But that's changed in light of high-profile errors from not only Onana against Grimsby, but also Bayern in the opening couple of Premier League games. Onana missed out on that 1-0 loss against Arsenal. Bayern started in his place. He was at fault for that goal. And seemingly Manchester United and Ruben Amorim, they've had enough. And they've said, we need to get a goalkeeper. We need to get someone new between the sticks. Now, what it means for the future of Onana or Altay Bayern, we don't know at this point in time. it would feel like, certainly, wouldn't it, that time is running out to move them on. But we do have windows that don't shut today. We do have, of course, the Turkish window. We do have the Saudi window. So that is something to look at and something to keep an eye on as well. Now, we did get, again, a here we go from Fabrizio Romano. He said Manchester United have agreed this €21 million plus add-ons deal with Royal Antwerp for Senna Lammens. Here we go. Yes.
Here we go.
Yes. Agreement in place for the Belgian goalkeeper to join Manchester United immediately. Deal is set to be sealed after his medical. So this is all going in now, and we're now getting all of the information. It was an interesting one because just before we got the news from Ornstein of the here we go, there was I want to make sure I get the journalist right in this, because it's always good to make sure you credit who's breaking the news. Right, so it was from Axel Brizart, who is a journalist based in Belgium, and he broke the news with these exclusive photos that Senna Lammens was boarding a flight to Manchester. And the only reason he would be given permission to travel to Manchester would be that a deal either was going to be done or was very close to being done, basically. And that's exactly what the case is. This deal is now done between the two clubs. Anyway, the clubs are now like, right, okay, fee agreed, you can travel. He may have been on standby to travel anyway, or maybe he was just going to travel to Manchester in the event that a deal would be reached between the two clubs. But actually, it was far more advanced than that. It was far more advanced because a deal now has been agreed between the Belgian side and between Manchester United. He's on his way to Manchester. We've got just less than 7 hours to go until the deadline to make this one official. And I don't think there's going to be any worries or any concerns about this deal getting done. So if you are just tuning in, a deal has been reached. We've got a here we go. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Get your super chats in, your members chats. It is all going off. I'm going to call Flex shortly because I'll tell you, folks, yeah, I just spoke to Flex, and I'll be honest, yeah, I think he was a little bit deflated. I think he had his heart set on getting in Emi Martinez. Frankly, I don't care. Like I was really not wed to either one. As I've mentioned, I don't know how often, how many times have I been on transfer views throughout this window and go, just get me a goalkeeper. I don't care who it is. I don't care if they're the best goalkeeper in the world. I don't care if they're average. I don't care if they're 20. I don't care if they're 40, because I'm at that stage where anyone is better than Andre Onana, and Bayern is about that much better than Onana. It's not much. It's not much. Go get me a goalkeeper. You can find anyone that's better. Senna Lammens, there are pros and cons. There are pros and cons of every transfer, right? The pros of Senna Lammens, he's a young keeper. You know, he's good at claiming crosses. The stats suggest he makes lots of saves. He had one of the highest save percentages and saves made last season. As I mentioned, he's good at claiming crosses from corners, set pieces, or in the game. We struggle with that. He was a goalkeeper that a lot of people were looking at across Europe, including Manchester City, including Aston Villa, including Galatasaray. Lots of clubs were interested in him. So clearly there's something about him. The only reason he's not played for his country, he's played in under 21s and under 23s levels. He gets called up to the senior squad a couple of times, but it's because arguably the best goalkeeper on the planet in Thibaut Courtois is their goalkeeper. And until he retires, you're not going to get him between the sticks, are you? But still, there's talent there. There's talent there. But, you know, the concern would be is that he doesn't have a lot of experience. We don't know that much what we're getting, right? If anyone says they know Senna Lammens inside out, they must be from Belgium or this unbelievable Twitter tactico, because people aren't watching him as often as they're watching Emi Martinez, right? We know what we would be getting there if we had got him. With Senna Lammens, we don't know as much as what we're getting there. But if he turns out to be good, then you've got a goalkeeper, like I said, for the next decade, plus who's settled, and it's a really relatively cheap transfer. But as I said, the cons is he's not that much experience. Is he going to fit? Is it a bit of a risk? Is it a gamble? He'll probably end up getting the number 1 shirt just because, not the number, but you know what I mean, the starting position, because our goalkeepers are crap, you know, so there's risk there. Emi Martinez, you look at it the other way. Emi Martinez, you know what you're getting there. You're getting experience. He's been in high-profile matches, i.e. the World Cup, played in the Premier League for a long time. but he's older. He probably would cost more in terms of transfer fee and in terms of salary. He's been making mistakes. And, we've got goalkeepers that make mistakes as well. So there's concern. Ultimately, and I can see it already in the chat, we're not going to be 100% unanimous, right? We're not going to be 100% unanimous because we never are, right? We never are. I can see it in the chat of, look at this. These are two comments next to each other. Yes, it's not Martinez. The next one, big mistake again by United. It's going to divide. This is the whole point of being a fan, isn't it? Is that we're going to have opinions, we're going to debate, we're going to have disagreements, we're going to have agreements. Ultimately, time will tell. Time will tell. I so hope, and I really do hope Senna Lammens comes in and he's an upgrade. I think that he will be, because look, if Senna Lammens can come in, save some shots, claim some crosses, he is an upgrade. The bar is so low. Like, guys, I will demonstrate how low this bar is about how, if Senna Lammens come in and would be a success. I'm on the floor. Yeah, guys, I'm on the floor. That's how low. I've just got to go get the bar. It's down here. Give me a second. I'm going to have to go on the floor and then dig up my floor and go get the bar. That's how low it is, okay, with Andre Onana. It's that. Let me see if I can. I'd have to pull up the fucking carpet. I'd have to pull up the carpet to go get that bar. That's how low the bar is, right? So, Emi Martinez, Senna Lammens, either or, I'm very happy with. It's an upgrade. It's an upgrade as in, going from death to life, okay? We're talking death to a coma. That's where we're at, right? It's so low. I mean, I can't get to the core of the earth. That's what we're talking, magma. That's how low that bar is. I don't know if I can physically get to it. That's how low the bar is. So that's where we're at. Super chats in. And I tell you what, there was a time and a place where I probably couldn't. If I went down to that floor, I wouldn't be able to get back up. So small victories. James with the super chat says, wrong option, in my opinion. Should have gone for Martinez. Son says, I'm not massively excited about another young prospect player. Martinez, top 3 keepers in the league with experience. Bit disappointed, I can't lie. Well, this is, again, divides opinion. Kristen, I've been saying Lammens since last summer. Let's go. Rohan says, you do not choose a World Cup winning goalkeeper over an absolute scrub. Is he even going to start? Never. Pathetic, horrible mistake again from Ineos. Fucking hell. There's people feeling strongly about this one. No business done yet for the summer tweets yet. MF. No business done for the summer tweets yet. I think I'm missing that one, Bone Hurt. I'm not sure. No business done for the summer tweets yet. MF. Oh, midfielder. All right. We're not going to get a midfielder. That's not happening today. I mean, let's not go too far. When we're the midfielder isn't happening. This will be the last incoming this summer. You never know in January. See what happens. But for next day, as in there hasn't been any tweets to say our business is done. Right. I see. Well, you never know. Never say never. But I would be. The problem is as well is, again, you have to remember that we would look at this and we would go, look, we've got 12 hours left to go. Window shuts at midnight, blah, blah, blah. Shuts earlier, right? Shuts earlier. We've got less than 7 hours to go until the window shuts. That's why these things are happening a little bit earlier on this deadline day. And that's why actually this morning has been total madness. Obviously we've had all of this back and forth about the goalkeepers. We've got Jadon Sancho. Here we go to Aston Villa. We got Anthony, Real Betis. Here we go. Now we've got Senna Lammens. Here we go, because there is this feeling of, well, if you're going to do a medical, it can take a few hours or so, and we're running out of time. So if deals are going to get done, these things have to happen kind of nowish. That's why I mentioned it this morning on the transfer view, right? Didn't I? I said Senna Lammens would have to get kind of done by about midday because he'd have to fly to Manchester, then have his medical. So I think there was this feeling of, if something doesn't happen by midday with Saint-Lemons, they'll go for Martinez. And what I predicted turned out to be the case, that United were always leaning towards Saint-Lemons. That's where the preference was. I know Flex said this morning, he was like, I don't know, I think Martinez. I think that might have been more hope, because I gave him a look during the show. I don't know if you guys saw this, when I said, I read the report from Laurie Whitwell, which was something of the effect that they'd agreed personal terms with Saint-Lemons. They hadn't agreed a fee with Antwerp, and the Emi Martinez one was still on, but that was if Saint-Lemons, that didn't work out. And I said, so to me, it looks like he's leaning towards. That means they're leaning towards Saint-Lemons. He went, I don't know. I think Martinez. I sort of gave him a look as if to say, what? It seems very much like he's going. Lilio says, I saw it. Yeah, it felt very wishful thinking, I think. But that felt like at the time, Martinez was like the backup. Martinez was the, okay, then that is probably going to be, unless the Le Mans one doesn't happen, mainly because this in the UK, could do it quickly, Martinez. That would be the case there. A little bit more on this. Rich Faye says United's priority is to, Lux Hill. I think he did. I think he did. It's kind of got what he wanted to hear, as opposed to what actually was getting from that report. United's priority, according to Rich Faye, is just to get the Saint-Lemons deal done and then look at their goalkeeping situation again. Still a chance Bayindir or Andre Onana could leave after today, with Saudi and Turkish windows both open until the end of next week. I think one of them is going to end up going. And I think what they could do with Andre Onana, I think they could say to him, look, you've got AFCON in the winter. You need to be playing games. Not as if to say that you're not going to go. Andre Onana is going to go with Cameroon to AFCON, although his relationship is very frosty at the best of times with his country. But I think it could be a thing to say, look, you need to be playing. Got AFCON, and then you got World Cup. I don't know what Cameroon's status is. Have they qualified for the World Cup? But, you've got big international tournaments coming up. You've got to, you've got to do that one. And Saudi could absolutely come in. I could see that. And of course, Bayindir, being from Turkey, could end up going back there with their window. So that's definitely one to watch. According to Chris Wheeler, sources in Belgium say the add-ons are around £3.5 million, which would bring the total deal to £21.7 million. I think I think 21 million in today's day and age I think that's all right. 20 million in this market for a goalkeeper. If he ends up being our number one for the next 5-10 years, 20 million for a keeper ish, 21 million. Well, let's round it up to 22, shall we say? That's not bad. And again, I wonder, what was really interesting, and maybe this was a sign that the Martinez one probably wasn't going to happen. We never really heard figures, did we? We never heard transfer fee, and we never heard wages, which I think is interesting. We heard them at the beginning of the window. We heard that 40 million and whatever. And it never made sense to me. I mentioned this morning too. I could never wrap my head around the idea that we would then go, Saint-Lemons, Royal Antwerp, you want 25 million euro? That's way too expensive. We're going to go get Emi Martinez for 30 plus million. That never made sense to me. Now, I know we did put a loan offer in earlier on in the window. Maybe that was the thought process of we'll go and get a loan for Martinez. But that really never got off the ground, did it? So to be honest with you here, let's be completely honest with what's probably happened here. Man United used that Emi Martinez situation as leverage. They used that situation as leverage, and they put pressure on Royal Antwerp to say, don't piss us about here. He wants to come to us. You've got other clubs interested. And just because these other clubs are interested, just because these other clubs are interested in him, he doesn't want to go there, and don't think you can use those other clubs as leverage. We're going to pay what we're going to pay. It's going to be around £20 million. And if you mess us around, we've agreed personal terms with Emi Martinez, and we'll go get him. And probably last night, when they see Emi Martinez not in that Aston Villa squad, they went, shit. all right. Well, let's do a deal. All right, let's do a deal. Let's not play around. Same way that Real Betis tried it. Real Betis, our offer, it's not our offer's not here anymore. We're pulling our offer because of wages. Unless you're going to pay Anthony an exit fee, we're pulling our offer. That was on Friday. Monday, offer's back on the table, and you don't have to give him an exit fee. You don't have to give him an exit fee. Actually, sorry. And again, that's good. After we in certain things, look, we have panicked. We panicked, I think, in the Garnacho one. We kind of got our pants pulled down a little bit there. We made it too difficult for ourselves by the exile, and then you don't mess with Chelsea in the transfer market. They're very, very good at what they do. They get deals done, and they flip players and sell them for money. That's what Chelsea do. All right. So, we kind of maybe got a bit overconfident in that. But these other ones, the Betis one, if the reports are accurate with it's a 50% sell-off clause of any future fee, which I think is really encouraging. If that is accurate, that let's say Real Betis sell Anthony for 40 million pounds or whatever in the future, we get 20 million. I'll have that. That's good going. With this one here, with Royal Antwerp trying to squeeze more money out of us, and we've gone, nope, not interested in that. I think that's really, really encouraging too. Just having a look, see what else everyone's going with this whole stuff about, obviously, this deal getting done for Lammens. Looks like initial fees, £18.2 million, then about 3 million in add-ons. So it goes to 21 million. Again, I think an initial fee of 18 million pounds for a goalkeeper that he's going to play. There's no way that I don't know if you can find goalkeepers that are that much worse than Onana and Bayern, to be honest. I mean, Bayern is better than Onana, but let's stress here. We were legitimately saying, play Tom Heaton. Play Tom Heaton. He's 39 years old because he's better than what we've got. So Lammens must be better than that. Hulkin says Anthony Sellon is of any profit. I don't think so. That was what was initially reported. You're right. But then a lot of other reports now from very credible journalists have come out and said, actually, it looks like it's of the full fee, not profit. The suggestion is that I think Charlotte Duncan from the Times said it, and others said that it was of a future fee, not of profit, which would make sense why that fee is suddenly really, really low. Because I think the fee initially for Anthony to go to Real Betis is around like 20 million quid, which is on the lower side, which I wasn't happy with. But I think the Salon fee is the Salon clause rather is of any fee, not profit, any fee, which again I think is good business because basically we've sold Anthony for about 20 million, and if he does as well as he did at Real Betis in January, he probably ends up getting sold at some point. If he goes to Saudi, even if they sold him for 20 million, you still get 10 million. So it ends up getting like a 30 million package if they sell him. Which, if he carries on how he was playing, then he'll have interested people in that, no doubt about it. So I think actually that could work out to be some pretty shrewd business by Manchester United there. I have seen what you guys are saying about the Conor Gallagher stuff. A report from Football España is saying that Manchester United have inquired with Conor Gallagher's management about a loan. Atletico Madrid want an obligation to buy £45 million. United prefer a straight loan with no obligation. I will believe that when I see it. It is deadline day, and what I would say is exercise a lot of caution when it comes to accounts that don't really make a lot of sense. Because remember yesterday, Angelo Stiller, what's his name? Sasha Tavalori. Is that his name? That journalist. We're getting Angelo Stiller. There's a delegation in Stuttgart. He expects a deal to be done. 20 minutes later, Fabrizio Romano came out in the most polite way possible, basically said that's horse shit. Like it was rubbish. So much so that the journalist that initially started posting it, he was blocking people on social media and then he deleted the tweet. At least have the decency to quote tweet and say, you know what, got it wrong, didn't I? Got it wrong. So we're still at a stage where the big hitters, let them do their thing. I'm live now because you've got David Ornstein breaking the story. As soon as David Ornstein said we agreed, it's done. You know, even Romano this window, he's been on shaky ground, hasn't he? He's been on quite shaky ground when it comes to some of his ones. He's had a couple of here we goes that haven't worked out, or he's had a couple of this deal isn't going to happen. Then it turns out it does happen. So it happens to the best, and even the best get it wrong. So people that aren't really well known, because this is a day. Look, if you're an aspiring, not even journalist, because it's not journalism, but if you're a person you want to get attention on social media, today's the day to do it. You know, just fucking say anything. We learned it from the Man United takeover saga, didn't we? Those Qatar, flag, sand timer, soon, arrow, those tweets, they were banging. I mean, people were getting all kinds of growth off those. The only problem is they're all fucking nonsense. They weren't true. But they still go it. I'm still waiting for that Manchester United takeover by Dubai. Isn't that exciting? And the worst thing is people forget, don't they? People just forget that they happened. And then they'll just take a look and they'll go, oh, so-and-so said this. You go, it's the same person that said Man United were going to be taken over by, Dubai or... so that's that's a kind of madness. We've got over 1,400 people watching right now, guys. We are less than 100 likes away from 500 likes. If you are just tuning in, the news has been confirmed by the likes of David Ornstein, first broken, by David Ornstein, and then co-signed by all of the big journos, that indeed Manchester United have agreed a deal to sign Senna Lammens from Royal Antwerp. It is going to be a deal with an initial fee of £18.2 million plus £3.5 million in add-ons, a total package of about £21 million. It's agreed between the two clubs. There's no sell-on clause. Lammens is traveling to Manchester right now. Personal terms have already been agreed on a 5-year contract, and all parties are working towards completing the deal before the 7 p.m. deadline tonight. As far as exits go, today we've had confirmation that Anthony is here we go to Real Betis. That one's to be confirmed. Jadon Sancho, he's on his way for a loan to Aston Villa. We've got a here we go on that. Aston Villa are covering 80% of Jadon Sancho's salary with possible bonuses and options, which could mean that Aston Villa end up covering all of his salary. So we could have a situation where, yes, it's a straight loan, but we get 80% of Sancho's considerable salary off the wage bill. And if he does well, we could have a situation where Sancho actually has his whole salary covered by Aston Villa. Man United do have the option to extend Sancho's contract by an extra year if they want to. I don't think they will. I think he'll leave on a free, but this is kind of a situation whereby actually they're just managing to not pay his wages for near enough a year. Not bad going. Rasmus Højlund, he's in Naples right now, finishing off his move to Napoli. That's going to be a loan with an obligation to buy if Napoli actually reach the Champions League, qualify for the Champions League this season, which they will. They're the Serie A champions. On top of that, they've got top players, De Bruyne, Scott McTominay scoring goals. Antonio Conte is the head coach. And then that obligation is around £40 million. I think the loan fee is around sort of €5 million-ish. So it's over £40 million total package. So we've got exits going. It's only Terrell Malacia left of the bomb squad that's left at Carrington. Garnacho's gone. Rashford's gone. Sancho's on his way out. Anthony's on his way out. And it looks like Malacia could have a loan move possibly to Spain, but that one's gone a little bit quiet. Bloody hell. This isn't Manchester United. I mean,
bloody hell.
Mark Gahey is going to be going to Liverpool. It looks like this one's going to happen. Coming from Ben Jacobs and Alex Crook, they go with a breaking exclusive saying Liverpool now confident of finalising a deal for Mark Gahey. A deal is expected to happen. It's a race against time. The medical is going to take place in London should a deal get done. That's on top of them. Also having Alexander Isak do his medical right now as well. It is all going off today, isn't it? It's really all going off this morning. Bloody hell. I'll press the button again.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, it is. Oof. Should we try Fleck? Should we try? What's the time? When do they go live on DR, actually? Let's check. They're going live apparently in 10 minutes. I can get a light 5. I can get a light 5 out of him. Potentially. Can I get a light 5? They're nearly as bad as us is on DR being late.
Oh, I'm about to go live. Is it good news?
Well, no, well, it's very, very quickly. Send Lammens United. Here we go. You're on your own channel, and also Mark Gahey is going to Liverpool, according to Ben Jacobs, exclusive.
Mark Gahey, Ben Jacobs, gone, happened.
It's happened.
They've got him.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're all happy. They're all happy. You lot know my thoughts.
You sounded disappointed earlier.
I preferred Martinez. I did. I wanted the experience, but I said if it's this kid, then I support him. We've got to give him a bit more time than we would afford Martinez. But yeah, listen, I'm literally just about to go live right now, so I've got to go. But yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it in the end, but it wouldn't have been my first choice.
There you go. Well, Flex, he's going to have a Flex's view. It's going to be coming out later. Big up. Flex is about to go live. It's all going off. It's all going off. Let's get back to your super chats here. Atonement. Oh, serious. Says Martinez is so good, but yet he's not been linked with any decent clubs all summer and is now being linked with a move to Turkey. Make it make sense. Do you know what ultimately, folks? You know what ultimately is going to, I think, quieten down the sort of we've made a mistake versus we haven't made a mistake. Then Lammens comes in and he plays well, keeps some clean sheets. I'm thinking of Qatar again. Clean sheets. If we get some clean sheets, saves some shots, no one will give a shit. It's the same for any signing, isn't it? If they come in, they do well, no one will care. If Benjamin Šeško starts scoring goals, no one will care. Right? That's what it is. I said sheiks, not cheeks. No pause. Come on. Sheiks. Now I've got distracted. But the point being is, I'm still happy with it. I'm happy with the signing. And David Ornstein exclusive. Aston Villa closing in to sign Harvey Elliott from Liverpool before the transfer window closes. Aston Villa advancing in talks over a season-long loan with a buy obligation. Well, they reckon that might be related to the Isak one and what have you. Man, it's all going off today. What did they say? What did Romano say?
Don't underestimate Manchester United.
One more time for those in the back.
Don't underestimate Manchester United.
We're 16 likes away from 500 likes. If you want to click the like button. Did I? It's because I talk too fast. You know what I do? I've been doing this a lot recently. I've been doing this a lot where I just merge words together. I keep merging words together. It's disaster. Absolute disaster. Can you imagine? That in this stream, you know, we're getting a new goalkeeper, signing a new keeper. I was on the floor at one point. It doesn't matter now, does it? Now it's clean cheeks. As they should be, to be fair. I mean, hygiene's important, guys, yeah? Hygiene's important, you know. Make sure you're thorough. You know, it's important. You know, that's what they always say. You got to take care of yourself. That's what it's got to be. Yeah. Absolutely. Lil Yo. You've got to. I don't know. I don't know if that counts towards Frank's haircut. You know what I mean? He's looking for five wins in a row, not 5 clean cheeks in a row. I'm not sure where it's going. But you should. Absolutely. Come on. Exactly. Don't say you don't learn anything here at United View, yeah? Don't say that we don't offer good wisdom, yeah? It's important. Shyam says, Cunha is out for how long? Shouldn't we get another midfielder now? We don't know. Hey, I tell you what has gone a bit under the radar. Because Ruben Amorim said it in his he said it in the interview after the win at the weekend. Did you see when he said Mason Mount played for 30 minutes with an injury? He said Mason Mount played for 30 minutes with an injury, and we haven't heard anything about how significant that injury could be, or with Matheus Cunha as well. Cunha he looked like he was walking all right, didn't he, outside Old Trafford? And I mean, for a hamstring, even if you've just tweaked it, not even a pull, let alone a tear. If it's tear, it's months. If it's a pull, couple of weeks. Even if it's a tweak, it can be a couple of weeks. We might get away with it's 2 weeks now with the international break. Maybe he might be not just ready for the City game, but it's not too bad. But you never know. The Mount one, we've heard nothing. Nothing. And that worries me because the precedent is there with Mason Mount. When he's injured, but we've heard nothing, he has been out for like 3 or 4 months before. Now, that's not a report or anything like that. I'm just saying what's happened in the past. Remember a couple of times Mason Mount has like limped off and we go, oh, it won't be too bad. 4 months later, he plays again. You go, what happened? Well, calf. You go, oh, right. And it's just those quiet ones, calf, groin. You go, oh, no. We didn't hear anything. So that maybe is a concern. Maybe that's where Cobby's going to be playing even more, perhaps. Which to me isn't, you know what I mean? To me, that's not even that much of a story now. I know occasionally, I think Fabrizio posted it last night where he said United is still blocking Cobby Mainoo's exit. Cobby's not going to leave on loan. But that became, I think, really evident whereby when he came on, was at halftime the weekend for Mason Mount. A couple of injuries down, now he's in the squad. And he didn't cover himself in glory. But now, I suppose the problem is it's extra scrutiny. The scrutiny's got even bigger, hasn't it, on whether or not Cobby plays. But hopefully when the window shuts, it can just stop being a thing and hopefully starts playing well. And maybe it's all it's overblown, perhaps. We shall see. Where else are we at with super chats? Amanor says, Owen, please, any update on incoming midfielders? Doesn't look like it. I mean, like someone said, like Bonehurt said, you know what? I'm so dumb. For some reason, Bonehurt, I apologize. I just couldn't read that properly earlier. But now I see it. It makes total sense. I tell you what, it's been a long 24 hours with Man United. It's just been constant. And yesterday I was up late. I was doing Clash in Paris. No business done for the summer yet tweets. Midfielder. For some reason earlier, I just couldn't read it. I couldn't actually read that. Like the words were not going into the brain and processing the way that I would hope them to. Now they do. No business done for the summer tweets yet. Midfielder? Yeah, honestly. It's too tired. Yeah, well, you're right, Bonehurt. I got there in the end. All the blood went to my head. Well, I was on the floor. You know, clearly the exercise was going on. The cheeks weren't cheeking. Exactly. You know, that's what it is. All the blood was here. That's why it's always red in the face. But you're right. We haven't seen any of those tweets yet, have we? To say that Manchester United's summer spending is over. We haven't heard that yet. Maybe because there's maybe a bit of a feeling of could be a light loan, perhaps, maybe. See who's left on the market at this point, perhaps. I would be surprised because what midfielders have we been linked to? We've been linked to Baleba. That's not happening. I think it happens next summer, though. Like I said earlier on, I think we end up getting 2 midfielders. I think Baleba and Wharton next summer, I think, is going to be the go-to. Stiller has been a non-starter, so I don't even think that's a thing. Was it Hjulmand from Sporting? Maybe. As a loan, perhaps. I mean, I know that they tried that in Spain a few minutes ago to say Conor Gallagher, but I really don't think that's a thing. I really, really don't. It would have to be a loan. And I suppose, look, when it comes to loans, they can come out of nowhere. That's the only thing. I remember when we got Sabitzer after Christian Eriksen got injured in January of 2023. That one came out of nowhere, didn't it? It was like Christian Eriksen got injured against Reading in the FA Cup. Andy Carroll. And Eriksen was never really the same after that. Andy Carroll, not bad. Hurt Christian Eriksen. And then, like, out of nowhere, it was like Man United are going to sign Marcel Sabitzer on loan from Bayern Munich, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, that was crazy." So I suppose you can't rule out something like that happening, where it just happens, and you're just totally shocked by it. But it would have to be quite a significant development. Just a little bit outside of Manchester United at the moment. I don't know if you guys saw earlier. Erik ten Hag sacked by Bayer Leverkusen after it's 2 or 3 games. And that means in the space of less than 7 days, 3 former Manchester United managers, the last 3 permanent Manchester United managers, have all been sacked from their current jobs. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, sacked from Besiktas. Well, I should probably do it this way. Jose Mourinho, sacked by Fenerbahce. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, sacked by Besiktas. Erik ten Hag, sacked by Bayer Leverkusen. You couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it up. The Erik ten Hag one is kind of wild. Like, I do feel, I feel for him, Jeff. I do feel a bit bad for him in the sense that, like, he's gone in there. Bayer Leverkusen have sold so many players. Like, they sold their best players. Obviously, Wirtz, Frimpong, that Granit Xhaka's gone. Their centre-back's gone. Like, they sold a lot of players. And their first 2 games was a loss and a draw. The draw was they were 3-1 up, and it went back to 3-3. And they sacked him. Like, fucking hell. So clearly they've just gone like, no, it's not the right guy for us. Fuck it. I'll get rid of him. It's not a good time to be an ex-Man United manager. Moise, I'd go to Everton, can I have an extension on my contract, please? But I do feel bad because what are you going to prove after a couple of games, right? I mean, and then for those people that go, but you were saying about Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim's been here for 50 games. It's not the same in the slightest. That you know what that would be like? Ruben Amorim, what was his 3rd game for United? Was it when we lost to Arsenal at the Emirates? I forget. I can have a look. Ruben Amorim, transfer market. His 3rd game at United was... can I see the specific games? Maybe. I wonder if you can. All stats. How good are you? There you go. Scroll down. Right, so it was Ipswich, Bodo Glimt. Then that's when we won 4-0. I tell you, he was unbeaten in his first 3. He was unbeaten in his first 3. Take me back. I remember after that 4-0 game against Everton at home, and that's when he did the storm's coming. And everyone's like, you're shitting me. Storm's coming? You're unbeaten in 3, mate. Yeah, so it's like the 4th game was against Arsenal, and we lost 2-0. And that is literally like, after that game against Arsenal, going, he's sacked, get rid of him. That would be men's. That is crazy. Yeah. So I do feel bad for Erik ten Hag in that regard. I know people like to go, oh, that's the Manchester United effect of you. I mean, Man United's got nothing to do with Erik ten Hag losing his job. In the same way United's got nothing to do with Ole or Jose losing his job, right? So, but it's just one of those ones of like, bloody hell. That is kind of wild. That 3, what are the odds of that? What are the odds of that happening? If someone put a bet on that, right, and they said within the next like 7 days, the last 3 permanent Manchester United managers will all get sacked from their current jobs, and it happened, you'd be like, either you're some kind of psychic or match fixing. Like, there has to be some kind of, you must insider trading, because there's no way you could predict that. No way. Would just be incredible. Rob Dawson from ESPN has said that Andre Onana does not anticipate leaving Manchester United before the end of the window and wants to stay at Old Trafford to fight for his place. However, United will listen to any reasonable offers for the 29-year-old, and Galatasaray could yet make a late bid. Where's Ederson going? I thought Ederson was going to Galatasaray. Or is that Fenerbahce? Where is it going? Where is this? Ederson's... Oh, he's going to Fenerbahce, not Galatasaray. Wow. But maybe then... I'll tell you what. Fenerbahce, I know who I'd rather have any day of the week. I mean, I know Ederson shot stopping isn't all that, but still, in terms of with his feet, I'd still rather you'd have Edison in goal over Andre Onana. But then again, I'd have, I don't know, this pot of chewing gum in goal over Andre Onana. At least if the ball hit this, it might not go in, maybe. With Onana, it can still go like that, it'll still go in. And it's one of those ones where it says there, he wants to stay and fight for his place. Well, I want a 6-pack. I'm trying, but it's challenging. I want to marry insert attractive person here, but that doesn't happen, is it? So, I want to be pick famous wrestler. I want to be John Cena. But you can see me in this chair. I'm here at the moment. We can all want a lot of things, but not going to happen, is it? So, yeah, I want a Manchester United WWE Championship. Let me just have a look if I've got that yet. Just having a look. No, I was on the floor earlier on. Let me check. No, still not there. Still not there. So we don't always get what we want, Andre. Really? Kristen says, I want to marry Shania Twain. That doesn't impress me much. So you think you're Kristen? I'm not going to break into song. That was too easy. That was too easy. Really, wasn't it? That was too easy. And Shania Twain was a bit of a curveball. I wasn't expecting that. Kristen. Shania Twain, that's a bit of a throwback. Fair play. Yeah, if you are joining us, well, I'm not really sure what else there was more to say. After that, it's been a strange stream, hasn't it? I think we're caught up with all of the stuff that's happened there. So actually, just very quickly, big up Minna. I'll put a bit of a retweet on this. She's just posted a tweet saying, Man United's transfer window so far, incomings, Benjamin Šeško, 66 million plus 7. Mateus Cunha, 62.5 million. Brian Mbeumo, 65 million plus 6 million. Senna Lammens, 80 million plus, it's about 3 million. Outgoings, Marcus Rashford, loaned to Barcelona with an option to buy for £40 million. Anthony is a £21 million deal or 19 plus 2 plus 50% salon clause for any fee in the future. Jadon Sancho, a loan to Aston Villa, 80% loan coverage, a possibility of 100% loan coverage if certain bonuses and clauses are met. Alejandro Garnacho, £40 million plus £10 million salon. Rasmus Højlund to Napoli. It's going to be a 3 or 5 million pound loan fee with an obligation for a £40 million deal if they reach the Champions League and he plays a small amount of games. And extras are approximately £16 million from Anthony Elanga and Alvaro Fernandez, his respective moves to Newcastle and Real Madrid. Thoughts on that window? If you had to rate it, thoughts on that window? Well, look, it's not a 10. It's higher than a 5 for me. If we'd have got a midfielder, I think you'd have given it a very high number. You've signed 2 10s, a striker, a goalkeeper. I'd probably give it, I don't know, 7, maybe a 7. I'll give it maybe a 7. I would have liked, obviously, a midfielder. If we'd have got a midfielder, I think you get a 10 out of 10 if you get like a Carlos Baleba. And also the exits are important. We did manage in the end to move people on. I think there's a couple there that I would have maybe have liked a bit of a higher fee for. I still stand on, I would have liked to have got more for Alejandro Garnacho, but we made it really difficult for ourselves to get that. That bomb squad looks to be completely moved on. We're just waiting on Malacia, and I think he will end up leaving on loan. What were you going to get for him anyway? Not that much. So I'd probably give it a 7. If we got a midfielder, then I would have given it higher. And like I said, a bit more higher transfer fees, I'd have probably given it higher. But if you'd have said to me before the window opened, you can get a striker, 2 10s, a new goalkeeper, which look, at one point it was like, we're not going to get a goalkeeper, wasn't it? It was like, we're not even going to get a new keeper. This goalkeeper thing, that's only been a development in the last few weeks, really. At one point, it was no goalkeeper's not on the agenda. So I'll give it a 7. If we can look, get a midfielder in, it will go up. If we can have some late more exits. Let's say Andre Onana leaves, then maybe I'll bump it up to like an 8, depending on what that deal looks like. But probably a 7 in and around there. Which, look, in terms of recent windows, I can't remember the last time I'd have given that. In terms of a 7 window for Manchester United, that's a 7 window for most. A 7 window for Manchester United is probably like a 5 for most clubs, but for us, that's high. You know, that's high for us. So I'll take it. We're 4 likes away from 600 likes, folks. Be sure to click the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well. As you can see right there in the top right-hand corner, we're just under, 150 subscribers away from 205,000 on that road to 205K, getting just closer to 250,000. Just, it feels like yesterday we're celebrating 200K. More to come on that. But now the next stop could be 250,000. Once we're starting to use the word million, I'll press the button again. If I could.
Bloody hell!
Yeah. That's my new favorite one. I'm pressing that a lot at the moment. I like that. David Dickinson. Yeah. Dickinson's real deal. If you know, you know. That is, if you were off school, that was part of your daytime TV lineup. Feeling rubbish, watching Dickinson's real deal. And it was always weird because they would negotiate. Oh, I think this is worth £100. And he would always come in and go, I think you should ask for more. And then they go, okay, I'm asking for more. And they go, all right, £120. And he goes, thank you very much. Well, why don't you just tell him from the start? I'd ask for £120 then. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that's a tangent. Big up to everyone tuning in. There's going to be a Flex's View reacting to this Senna Lammens deal. We will be live, reminder, this evening. Red carpet / deadline day special. Obviously, the window shuts at 7, which is usually when we go live for the red carpet. So we're going to be live at 6, Flex and myself, live at 6 to go through any announcements, any late deals, what have you. We'll be live at 6, and then I think the rest of the panel is going to be joining us around 7 p.m. for your regularly scheduled programming of the red carpet. So the likes of, James, Minna, Murcell, KG, that comedian, Dev, etc. They're all going to be joining us 7 p.m., but we'll be live from 6 to ring in the end of the transfer window together. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll see you on later on this evening. Like I said, if anything else happens, oh, bloody hell, look at this.
Bloody hell!
Well, another one, this isn't United related, but David Ornstein dropping another exclusive saying that Tottenham Hotspur have reached an agreement with Paris Saint-Germain to sign Randal Kolo Muani. Deal for the 26-year-old PSG striker is a straight season-long loan. No option / obligation. Personal's done. He's en route to London for a Spurs medical. It's just all going off today, isn't it? I mean, it really is. Kolo Muani going to Spurs. They were shit at the weekend as well. Thomas Frank, screw you, right? I'm no longer in the final one standing because of Spurs, because I thought they were going to beat Bournemouth. It was a risky one, but didn't have any shots till the 70th minute. So clearly they're going for a striker, but God, the names coming in we're getting names flying into the Premier League. And they're just a different look Spurs now, aren't they? Because some of the players they've got, obviously the days of Harry Kane and Heung-min Son are over. Now's the days of Kolo Muani and Kudus and João Palhinha, Xavi Simons. That's just a completely different team, aren't they? Aston Villa, they're going to get Harvey Elliott and Jadon. They're a different look now. They're getting Harvey Elliott, Jadon Sancho. So they're looking a bit different. Liverpool, they're signing Alexander Isak, Mark Gehi. I tell you what though. I'm not going to lie. Because if you've seen Liverpool so far this season, 3 wins out of 3, yeah, and they haven't even been that good. They actually haven't. They haven't even yesterday's game between Arsenal and Liverpool was dross. I did it for Football Flex. Oh, it was terrible to watch, but they're still winning. Still winning games. Against Newcastle, they weren't great. Still scored late on. Against Bournemouth, threw away that lead. Still scored late on. Now you're adding into that team Alexander Isak and Mark Gehi. Fucking hell. Yeah, that is the window they've had. How much have they spent? It's like close to like 400 million, isn't it? Because they got Wirtz, Ekatike, and now Isak, that alone is like over 300 million, isn't it? Plus Frimpong, Kirkez. Yeah, that is scary settings. But I do wonder, I do wonder how they're going to fit them all in, because Ekatike's been doing well, hasn't he? So yeah, it's mad. But then obviously, you know, the whole thing about Newcastle and then being rejected loads, but in the end, they've actually brought in quite a few players, haven't they? Which is also interesting from their point of view, because who else did they get? They got the guy from Germany, the striker, and Visser. That deal's been done or gonna be done today. Who else did they sign? Who was it? Oh, Fabrizio, you're shameless. Fabrizio is shameless. So David Ornstein, right? David Ornstein did the exclusive that Spurs have reached the agreement. I was 3 minutes ago, yeah? 3 minutes ago, Spurs have reached the agreement for Kolo Muani. And then Fabrizio's just done a here we go. And he's like, my exclusive story confirmed, because 2 hours ago, he said that Tottenham had made contact to explore the deal. But you've still got to hat tip David Ornstein and say that the deal was agreed, right? Surely you've got to. Surely that's nasty work there by Fabrizio. That's nasty work. You see that. I mean, he broke the story about contact, but I don't know. He didn't break the story of like the deal had been done, had he? I feel like we're kind of, yeah. Anyway, I've tried to wrap up the stream like 3 or 4 times, and every time I go to stop the stream, something else happens. Right, like I said, we'll be live 6 p.m. For the final hour of the transfer window. Then from 6 to 7, we'll be live for the red carpet. People will be joining us. Be sure to join us then. If anything else happens, I'll be here. You can't see it, but I was on the floor earlier on, but I'm actually glued to it, so I can't actually leave here at the moment. So I'm going to be on like, I don't know, some kind of, you know, I don't even know where I'm going with that. We'll wrap it up. It's been a weird stream. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. We'll be back later on. Peace.